Hello, everyone. It's time to eat, drink, and be merry with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy.
Known as San Diego's sustainable chef, Chef Jeremy Manley is back on Big Blend Radio today to teach us how to make his mango-jalapeno-jam recipe. I want to make a song out of it. It's perfect for summer barbecue dishes, white fish, and even turkey. Chef Jeremy is the owner of Jeremy's on the Hill California-style bistro in Julian, San Diego's mountain destination, a perfect destination for summer. If you go to his website, you'll see more recipes. Go to jeremysonthehill.com, and his video tips on there too. And you can also see him featured in Big Blend Radio and TV magazine, including this recipe in the summer issue. Just go to blendradioandtv.com. Chef Jeremy, how are ya?
I am splendid. How are you, Lisa?
I'm ready for some mangoes and jalapenos. I'm thinking this is such a cool recipe because I remember having this amazing martini at an amazing Peruvian restaurant in Portland, Oregon, and it was like mango and passion fruit, but very light, and then they put habanero. And there was and a little bit of citrus. And this recipe kind of takes me back to that. It's not all the same ingredients, but there's that lightly refreshing flavor with a little bit of kick to it. So I'm excited about this.
I love this recipe. It's so versatile, and it's one of those recipes that when you have an afternoon and you want to make something new, it's a great dish to make. I mean, you could really, the mango jalapeno jam goes on breakfast dishes, lunch dishes, dinner dishes. You could scramble up some eggs and cook some bacon and, throw a little mango jalapeno jam on your toast or mix it in with your eggs. It's a really nice contrast of flavors. You got a little bit of sweet, you got a little bit of sour, you got a little bit of spice. It's really a great way to utilize ingredients that you may or may not have laying around the house, but all the ingredients in this dish you could find at your local grocery store. Mangoes, being that we're in one of the most beautiful countries in the world, one of the things that we're so fortunate about is we can get mangoes anywhere, at any state, any grocery store, even though they're not grown right around the corner.
Well, mangoes rock, and it's that season right now, and that's why I get excited. When I could live on mangoes and avocados for the rest of my life and be completely content. Oh, but wine has to be involved. You know that. But when you take mangoes, let me just run through the ingredients for everyone. And the recipe, everyone, is up on blendradioandtv.com. Just type in mango. Mango Jeremy. It's the mango jalapeno. You type in mango and you'll find it. But you start with 32 ounces of diced mango. And then you have 9.5 ounces of Fuji apples, diced real small, 4 ounces of pickled jalapeno, and a cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of coriander, and then half a cup of cilantro chopped. So this is interesting that you have the cilantro, but you don't cook it until the end, right? So you say at the beginning, you put all the ingredients into a pot, and now you're going to cook it with some water and kind of make it like a little stew.
Correct. And what that's going to do is, when you're making a jam, you need something to thicken it with. So apples have a natural source of pectin in them. I believe they're the only fruit that has pectin. But that pectin is a type of sweetener that is a thickening agent that is found in apples. And for this particular recipe, I did say Fuji apples because, again, I live in apple country, and Fuji apples are my favorite. Which you have
Julian.
and the reason why the pickled jalapenos are important is because when you pickle something, there's a little bit of vinegar in there, and you want that vinegar for this recipe because that's going to add a little bit of zazz or a little bit of tang to it. And what vinegar does in my mouth is it opens up all the taste buds on my tongue, so all the other flavors could penetrate through, and you get a more a real taste of what's being put on your palate while you're eating it.
Right.
The other ingredients in here, of course, diced mango. I mean, it's a mango jalapeno jam. If you can't find mango, feel free to substitute a pineapple. A papaya would even work. It'd be a different color, but papayas would work. Peaches would work, yeah. Stone fruits are incredible. I think you're onto something there. I never thought of a peach jalapeno jam, but man, I could imagine some of that with have a shot and a spoonful of jam.
It reminds me of, it's kind of like a salsa, right? In a way, that's really what we're making. It's like a salsa, and I've had peach. I think it was peach and habanero salsa. I remember having that, thinking, oh, I don't know what it's going to be like, and it would turn out to be one of my most favorite salsas ever because of that sweet and salty, vinegary, hot goodness.
So the only difference between this jam and what you're describing as a salsa is that we're going to heat up some ingredients. It's going to come to a boil. The pectin from the apples is going to sweat out, and we're going to puree that, and it's going to thicken. And versus just a salsa where you take raw vegetables and toss them together, and they marinate in their juices, and you add some salt, and it tastes wonderful. So
I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah, very similar ingredients, slightly different cooking techniques, but again, this is a great recipe for a novice chef or a novice home cook or somebody who's even more experienced, because it adds a dimension that when your dining patrons or your family eat and they taste it, they're going to be shocked by how good it is. And what else is great is when you make jams, it lasts for a while. So you don't have to use it within a day or two. You can let it sit in the refrigerator for a week. And like some of these dishes that, I recommended pairing with it, like swordfish, mahi-mahi, halibut, barbecue steaks, pork would go well with it. You can do like a pulled pork sandwich. There's so many different ideas that you could take this recipe with and elevate it.
Also with this, what I think is interesting too, is, you've got this as a salsa, well, not a salsa, but a jam. When you're talking about the pectins, what I was wondering is because it's a thickening agent, that means like it's cool for vegans, right?
Yes. So I know a lot of times when we hear like thickening agents, our minds might go right to flour or might go to something that strikes a gluten allergy or something that does with gluten. But pectin in fruit is 100% natural. Vegan, no gluten. It's a really great way, and a long time ago, not in a galaxy far away, but in our planet, we started making jams, and we discovered that apples were there was something about them that created a thickening agent.
I never knew this. This is so cool to know. And of course, all that, being a cordon bleu chef and in the apple country in Julian, known for apples and apple pie and all those good things. I know that you do
Candied
a lot with apples. But
apple tarts.
Apple tarts. You also put cilantro in here, and you say that, so that gives it, it's interesting, cilantro and also having coriander. That gives us kind of like a little fresh kind of flavor to it, doesn't it? Just kind of it's like refreshing to me.
It does, and that's why we're going to add that chopped cilantro towards the end, because if we added the cilantro while we were cooking all these ingredients, the cilantro would turn to mush. And if you watch while you're cooking this, you'll start to smell an aroma that comes once the temperature of all your ingredients heats up, and once it starts to boil a little bit, you'll start to smell it more. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. One, all the stuff that you see escaping the pot, those are water molecules. So as those dissipate, we're thickening what's in our pot, which is starting to form a jelly-like texture or begin to thicken. And then once we pull that off, we're going to add the cilantro and puree it. So the cilantro, it adds like a fresh element to the end of the jam. If you're one of the people out there who doesn't like cilantro, I still recommend you trying this recipe, but just omit the cilantro. Just don't use it. Coriander is the seed of cilantro, and it has a different flavor. But 1 in 10 people, when they taste cilantro, they taste soap.
Huh. So I don't want to taste soap, because that'll take me back to my childhood when I had like a language problem that got
your mom did that
really
to you
quickly.
too?
Did it happen? Yeah, man. It's like, here, I'm going to give you this soap in your mouth. No, you won't. Oh, don't ever. You know, Nancy, never test Nancy on things like that. You'll never do that. Oh, just to prove that you will now eat the soap. So, but it wasn't cilantro. But yeah, I think it's a different flavor, and I never really ate cilantro until we got to this country, and specifically California and Mexico when we lived there. And I was like, oh, I thought it was parsley. And then it's like, that doesn't taste like parsley. It kind of looked like parsley, but it had this shock to me. And then later I kind of learned how to enjoy it and not overdo it, because I think a little cilantro goes a long way.
I agree.
Yeah, man. So no soap, no soap. Now, you also say in the recipe that you could squeeze half a lemon in there and add salt. And you could add more mango if you want to make it like chunky and have a little different flavor.
It's nice to add the mango after everything's been pureed and you let it chill for a little bit, and then you fold in like minced mango or like small diced mango. It looks better on the plate. It also adds like a textural contrast when it's in your mouth. But again, if I would recommend trying it before you do that, just how it is, and then because we're all curious, chop up that mango, add a little bit to it, and then taste it again, because that'll help the mango have a more dominant flavor. It'll also help your plating. It'll make the plate look a little more pristine, or a little bit more restaurant-like versus home-cook-like. And it's just a small little trick that when you just look at it, you would never think to yourself, wow, how did this all get pureed, but there's still these little chunks. Part of going out to a restaurant and eating is like the magic that happens. And this is one of those little tricks that chefs use, or for this analogy, we'll say magicians in the kitchen would use to give it a little flair.
And it is a little magician thing, because you've got a stick blender, so you have a magic stick,
Yeah.
The little magic wand in there.
If you don't have a stick blender, go ahead and put this in your blender for about 20 seconds or so. Just pulse it though. Don't leave it on. Don't do it on high. Do it on kind of like a lower pulse.
Okay, good stuff. Now I have to always ask this. It's summertime, right? And this is like the perfect summer dish. I know California grows mangoes too, man. Out in Fallbrook, I had friends out there growing some mangoes and avocados, and I was like, wow, I didn't know. But hey, they're there. I want to know from you, you're going to make this. What are you going to eat it with? Because like you said, you can do so many different things. But for you right now, you're going to have a lovely dinner. You're going to invite someone over. What are you going to prepare with this as that being, your magic trick, your magic sauce? It's like, here it is. And what are you going to drink with this? Because somehow I want white wine for some reason. This kind of calls to that. I don't know why, but it does.
I think a Sauv Blanc would go great with this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my local baker. I'm going to grab some brioche buns. I'm going to marinate some chicken with a little bit of lemon juice, some jalapenos, some cilantro, and some oil. Lemon, maybe a little pepper in there, and then let it sit for a couple hours and throw it on the barbecue. And I'm going to do a grilled chicken sandwich on brioche bread with some mango-jalapeno-jam on top with your glass of Sauvignon Blanc.
And music, music has to, be part of this, the merriment.
Oh, it does. When I was getting ready for this interview, I just had Johnny Cash going through my head. So I'm going to have to say Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash.
Hey, they got the jalapeno for that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Chef Jeremy, and everyone. Again, you can go to jeremy'sonthehill.com. He's got a great video recipe series and with tips as well. And he's got recipes on his website. Sign up for his newsletter. Every person that gets a newsletter gets put into a drawing for a $25 gift certificate to eat at Jeremy's on the Hill. So check that out. So again, go to jeremy'sonthehill.com. And his recipes are also featured at Big Blend Radio and TV magazine. Just go to blendradioandtv.com and this recipe is there. And just type in mango. Don't forget, Big Blend Radio airs Sunday through Friday. We're pretty busy here. So just go to bigblendradio.com for the schedule, how to listen live or on demand. And we've got some music for you, Jeremy. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You know what? I just changed my mind of what we're going to do, but I feel very California like vibes. You know, you're talking about the apples and Julian and everything, and I was just thinking about the beach. So I'm going to play California Days by our friend Josh Pfeiffer. And this little jazzy, it's off of his album American Crooner, Act 1. You can go to joshpfeiffer.com. So here it is, California Days. Thanks so much, Chef Jeremy. You take care.
Thank you, Lisa. You too.
I love California days where the sunshine smiles on every face, where the ocean breezes blow and the swaying palm trees grow. I love California days. Take a drive on down the coast, find the things you love the most, from the Golden Gate to La Jolla Bay. Everybody knows it's true, so there's nothing you can do but pack your bags and head on down this way. California days. California days. I got my sunshades and put the rag top down to stay. We could head to Monterey and watch that sunset fade away. I love California days. Take a drive on down the coast, find the things you love the most, from the Golden Gate to La Jolla Bay. Everybody knows it's true, so there's nothing you can do but pack your bags and head on down this way. California days, the California days.